Welcome back, everyone. In our last set of lessons, we actually built our snake game and we actually made our player move around and change direction. In this lesson, we're going to actually pick up and make this very interesting. We're going to begin by adding some exciting food. Our snake will eat food, it will grow longer, and we'll start keeping a count of our score. So our main goal by the end of this lesson is that our snake will have food that spawns randomly on the grid, grow each time it eats, and keep track of the score. Now we'll first begin by spawning food using new functions. We'll add some collision detection to check if the snake head has touches food. If it does, it's going to increase in size. And instead of deleting our tail, we're going to keep our tail because that's how our snake is going to get longer. So let's go ahead and begin. We're going to need a couple of new functions. So in our init method, let's actually add an init food function. So here I'll just do our init underscore food, and init means just initialize. It means just start our food. So here's our food creator. So I'll just call that food for short because PICO-8 has limited tokens. We don't want to use too much tokens. And let's go ahead and check our food collision. Now you need to think about where we're going to be placing things. If we need to check for our food colliding with anything all the time, and basically in game development, if you're always checking for something happening all the time, it's best to do that in the update method. So here I'll create another function and we'll call that our check underscore food underscore collision. And I'll just be very mindful of our spelling. So here we're checking food call, basically food collision. That's just what that means. Checking to see if our food has collided with something. And next we need to draw the food object, and to draw anything on the screen, we'll do that in our PICO-8 function draw. So after we're drawing our snake, we need to draw the food and also draw a score. So let's just say draw underscore food, and we need to draw underscore score. Now these are all placeholder functions. We don't have those functions yet. If we should run this, we're going to get an error because it can't find the function. So it's something we should keep in mind. We're just creating the functions we're going to use. So here we have our init, we have our collision, we're now checking for our food, and we're also checking our score. So in our init snake method, this one where we are initializing our initial values, and by the way, we're calling that in init, let's go ahead and add our score. So I'll just go over here just after move delay, and let's just call that score and initialize that to a value of 0 because we don't want the player to have any point. So I'll just call that score. So we don't want the player to start the game with, any new score. So what we're going to do right now is to begin creating our new section. So just before, after our init, let's create a new function, and I'm just going to call that our food setup. So I'll just say food setup, because this is where we're going to set up our food. So let's create our function. So we'll create our function and we'll call that our init underscore food, which we've already passed in init. And I'll quickly do the end of that function. And I usually tab in to just indicate where that is going to be. So we need to create a list that will contain our food, and we need to place the food in random grid positions. So list in PICO-8 is a table. So let's just call that food, and this is going to be equal to opening and closing curly brace, and it will just tab down like that to begin adding our objects. So we need to create an X position for the food and also a Y position for the food because they need to exist in the world. And we'll use a floor function, and a random function. A floor function will ensure that we don't have fractions because the grid position is a whole number. So let's do FLR to call floor, and in floor, we're going to do random, and we're going to do 16 like that. And then we'll use a comma to indicate the next object. So let's also do a floor for the Y position. We're going to do a random and just pretty much the same thing. And I'll set this to 16. So we have our random grid positions. I'll just go ahead and cover up this space so we don't have anything, just hanging out there. And that's going to be it for our basic food setup for now. So let's move on. Now, what we're going to do is where we're adding our snake, we're going to delete the tail if no food was eaten in the frame. So basically that means in our update snake function, we might need to make a few changes. So here where we have our update snake, which is very critical because this is where we're adding and removing the snake head, we need to just add a few variables. So just after we've added our snake here, have our one, let's go ahead and modify this delete snake section. So I'll just go over here and clear this out because we don't just want to delete that. We want to keep the section. So I'm just going to add a comment and say only delete if no food eaten. So we're only going to delete and the tail if there's no food that was eaten. So let's just say if, so let's say not, so we'll just say just underscore at, and just at is going to be a variable. It's going to be a Boolean. So we're going to say then. Now this is where we're going to delete the snake. So we're going to do our delete and we're going to call our snake and we'll delete the item, the snake number like so. And we'll call that snake. Let's close this and let's close our parentheses. So else, so basically if we have not, just eaten, what do we want to happen? Well, we're going to set our just ate to false. So we're just going to just underscore at, and that's going to be equal to false. And let's not forget to end that statement. And we're now ending our statement right here. All right, so we're creating a variable just ate. We need to initialize it before we can use it, or else we're going to get an error. So here in our init snake, just here, let's create one called just underscore ate, and let's set that to false. That way we don't get errors when we're going over here and we're calling our, if just ate, that's if this is false, then delete that, else it's true, and then we're actually going to, do that. So now we have our end for our if, and we also have our end for our, our function here, which is great. So I'll update. So what we're going to do is to check if our head collides with the food. So to do that, let's create a new function. So I'm just going to say function check underscore food underscore collision. And let's create our variables in this. So first we're going to create our snake head. So I'm just going to say our local, our head position. And this will be our first snake head. So we're going to say snake with the array index of 1, which is the first element. That's our snake head. So now we're going to check if our head dot x is equal to the food dot x, then what we want to happen. If our head dot x equals food dot x and our head, so let's say and head dot y equals to r, and this double equal sign means we're doing a direct comparison. So I'm going to say food dot y. So we'll just hit the return key and tab in. So what we want to do is to increase our score. So we're going to say score plus equals 1. That means they're in the same position. The head of the snake and the food positions are the same. So we're going to increase our score. We're going to set just underscore et to be equal to true. And what else are we going to do? We're going to spawn food. So we'll say spawn underscore food, like so. And we'll just end that if statement. And let's also end the function. So let's just make sure I don't have double end there. All right. So that's great. We're checking for our collision where the head of the snake touches a food object by checking the X and Y positions and making sure they're equal. Right. So head, that's all great. So what are we going to do next? So we need to place the food in a random cell position. Right. So let's go ahead and do that. So here I'll just add a comment on top. Now let's call that check collision. And here, let's go ahead and spawn our food. Before we spawn our food, I want you to remember that we actually initialized our food here in our init food. This is just the setup. So let's go ahead and create a function for spawning the food. So let's just say spawn food like so. And we're going to call that a function spawn underscore food like so. And what we're going to do is to create our food dot x, because we already have that function, and we're going to set that to a floor with a random value of 16. And then next we're going to do the same thing for our food dot y. It's going to be a floor with a random position 16. So basically this means it's going to start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any number between 1 and 16 for the X and Y positions. That's what this doing. And let's quickly end our function to prevent any errors from happening. So let's go ahead and draw our food. So let's just say draw food. And let's just push this. We don't need to push anything down because that's what we have down here. So I'm just going to say function draw underscore food to draw our food. And let's just quickly end that. Go back up and tab in to begin drawing our food. So our food is going to be a square. So I'll just do a rect fill. And then we'll pass in the X positions. So since we have our food, we're just going to say our food dot X, and we'll multiply that by 8 to convert that into a pixel grid. And then we have our food dot Y multiplied by 8. And I'll just get down here. So we have everything in one clean slate. So I'm going to say our food dot X multiplied by 8. So plus 7 pixels. This will indicate the movement position. And then our food dot Y multiplied by 8. And we'll add 7 plus 7. And we'll give that the color 8. And 8 is actually red. So if you go over here and color 8 is actually red. So let's just go back here. So now we've drawn our food. Make sure we have our good end terminating there. So let's go ahead and save this. And I should save this as, so I'll just go over here, clear the screen, and I'll save that as 03 underscore food. Yeah, I think that's a good, I should have done that first. So I've actually overridden our second option here. So now we've drawn our food. Let's go ahead and draw our score. So here I'll just say draw score, and we'll create our function called draw underscore score, like so. And let's end head back up and just tab in one unit. And all we're going to do is just print our score. So it's going to be a string. Oh, okay, score. And I'll just leave a little space here and concatenate our score variable. And I'll set that to 2, 2, and let's make it white so we can easily see that score. So now we have our draw score, and yeah. So let's go ahead and call we already have our draw snake. So let's see, it's over here. So we have our draw snake function, and basically we can place this anywhere we want just to make sure everything is running smoothly. So let's save and let's run. So we have a problem. So let's go ahead and check our errors. So it says attempt to call check food collision. I think I'm using double L. So the function I'm calling is food collision. I think I'll change it to a single L instead of double L. So let's save that, and hopefully, so here we have it. Let's go ahead and pick one food, and we can see our snake is increasing in size. We have another one and another one, and let's pick another one. Just using the arrow keys to move this around like so. So yeah, we have our snake increasing in its size, but we can actually, we don't have a border. So this can keep going forever like that. All right. So let's quickly do I'll just escape that and save this. Let's do a quick review and wrap up of what we used and some new things here. So I'm using floor and random. So if you go over here, floor and random, these are pretty new. And this is going to pick a random integer between 0 and 15. So 0, 15, that's it. And it's going to be perfect for our 16 by 16 grid. Now our just et, which is this, is just a simple flag to let us check, you know, hey, we didn't move this tail, so the snake grows, right? So, and then the food, growing logic, this one over here, we're just using that to check a function to see if we have anything growing here. So what I want you to do is to try changing the color of the food, and also try to see how you can make the food actually flash when the snake eats the food. So if you're up for that challenge, changing the food color is very simple. All we just need to do is go over where we're creating our food, and then we just change that color. So we have draw food. This is the color 8. We can change it to something. So we're using 8. So we can try, our snake is already written. We can make it 14. So let's go over here. If I change this to 14, so you can see our food is now pink, which makes it, look like meat, sort of. All right. See you guys in the next tutorial.